Boker Tov, Yom Tov, Zarim Tovim, and Laila Tov. Good morning, good afternoon, good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter where you are at. This is Carrie, and I'm going to speak from the heart today about the word hope. This is a very important word, and the concept of hope in Hebrew is different than perhaps the way that we say it and see it in English. And when we share English words, like when we speak of the word hope, we know many of the Hebrew words that are behind the English translations and the depth and the riches that are contained within that single translated word that we hear in English, and in this example, hope. So when we are speaking them, we already know the depth that is underneath it, that which is hidden, the underwater, the undercurrent of the depth that is not possible to capture in the English words. And when we speak them, we're coming from that perspective. And sometimes when we do that, we forget that not everybody knows that running deep water that's underneath it. So I wanted to share with you what hope is. Hope is actually the word tikva. And we actually called our cat that. That's our cat's name, Hope. And Strong defines it as accord, expectation, and hope. And it comes from the root word kava, meaning to bind together, to collect, and to expect. And since the tav is added on to the prefix, because it's from kava and it goes to tikva, also has a yod that has been added, it has to do with expectation that comes from Mother and her teachings. It is the mark of love, the golden rule, that is a measure. So when we have that mark, it is the mark of expectancy because of things that we have gathered together, we have collected, and we've bound them together with a sense of expectancy. It's not something that is just wished for, oh, maybe it'll happen. There's an expectancy that comes from that which we collect and gather together and bind together, because we know that the greater is coming to them and to those of us who have achieved Mother's mark. And this expectancy is already within her teaching because she teaches the language. So when you learn Mother's Paleo Hebrew and she teaches you the Aleph and the Bet and the Gimel, there's an expectancy that is on that as you gather her pieces of the language that is meant to give you the Father's teaching, something that is greater than the lesser. And so it is something that happens to us through the work and the maturation of that which we gather and collect. It's not the wishful thinking or hopeful that someone else will fix it, because you see through the process of the Hebrew and the Aramaic that the revelation that we need to deliver ourselves is not coming from an external source for somebody that we're having wishful thinking or hopeful that somebody will come and solve all of our problems for us. It is the gathering and the collecting and seeing the expectancy of our own self-deliverance through the maturation process and the work and the deed of our own hand in the process of our becoming in steps. So Hebrew is a verb-driven language, which means that everything is doing. There's an activation that we do. On the inside, it is an inside job. You've heard of us speak of that before, unless it's the first time you've heard us share anything. And sometimes we miss that in the conversations that we're sharing in the morning to be able to bring forth some of these concepts, because we are speaking from something that is known to us and an expectancy that we have within. And sometimes we forget to bring clarity to it. But we try to communicate that with that in mind. And sometimes we will remember it as we're sharing, and sometimes it slips our mind. But when we communicate with people, we understand that we have people in various degrees of their maturation process gathering with us here. And so this is why we share things from different perspectives and different points of view, because some are still in the waters of chaos, and Mother has to come to them and meet them where they are at to give them hope, so that they know that there is a greater expectancy coming for those who would gather and collect what they need in their steps of ascension, so that they then can be part of the waters above that is out of the chaos. This is the hope that we are presenting to people, so that they know that there is something else other than the waters of chaos that they may be in and seeing right now. So we have a hope and a future that we are trying to present, and we hope that this actually gives you greater clarity as to the meaning of why we are sharing these messages with you. And we hope that this finds you well. Shalom, shalom, and namaste.